Round ball zero check with the Davide Pedersoli Flintlock 12 gauge Mortimer Fowler. William Hovey Smith, 2018. I'm the author of Extreme Muzzleloading, and here we bring out one of my favorite guns, and we're going to use this gun to get a deer this year. This is Hovey Smith, the Backyard Sportsman, and we're entering phase 3 of our investigations of the 12-bore shotgun as a muzzleloader. This began about 6 videos back with the Davide Pedersoli Flintlock 12-bore shotgun. This is the aforementioned Davide Pedersoli Scout Flintlock shotgun, which I successfully used to take a few squirrels and was going to use it for ducks and geese and ultimately take deer. But unfortunately I had problems with the lock and had to send it back. As a substitute for the shotgun, I decided it would be interesting to investigate the use of the Stevens Long Tom 12 gauge cartridge shotgun as a muzzleloader. And we have done that. We have used cut off 12 gauge shotgun shells as primers. We have also used the short lane 12 gauge adapter successfully, and we have taken squirrels with both. We found that we did get better patterns with the adapter than we did with the cut-off case, although this would work. Added complications of our investigation is that we are not able to buy right now lead shot. So this is one last load I have left recovered from old cut-off 12 gauge ammunition. Not good. I thought to use the round ball in this 12-bore shotgun, but the old Stevens is already broken at the wrist, and it was repaired 30 more years ago. And I don't want to stress this old shotgun anymore. With shot, I used a relatively mild load of 70 grains of powder and 1 ounce of shot, which was good enough to kill squirrels. Yeah, it would drive those number 6 shot completely through a squirrel, so yeah, it was effective. But I don't want to stress it with a round ball load. Round ball loads, to be effective out of a 12-bore gun, I have previously found, need to be loaded up considerably hotter. Starting with, say, something like 100 to 120 grains of powder, this being FFG black powder. Plus, that much powder and that much lead creates considerable recoil. The Stevens is a 6.5 pound gun. Recoil was bothersome a little bit, even with the 70 grain 1 ounce load. Blah. So I certainly don't want to put 120 grains of powder down. So we needed a heavier gun. Well, got one. This is a Davide Pedersoli Mortimer Flintlock shotgun in 12 bore. It's cylinder bored, so it has no choke. As you can now see, it is in fact a flintlock, and this we're going to load with round ball. Now, we've used this load before, and in fact we have shot things as big as the North American bison with it. I wound up shooting this buffalo with my fowler because the other gun I had brought failed, although not terribly successfully. The hit was all right, but the round ball did not get deep enough to break the huge bones in the bison's spine. So consequently, we had to finish the bison with a cartridge firearm. Although with a lung shot, which I was not allowed to take with this gun, it would have worked. But it didn't work with the neck shot. Just too much hide and just too much muscle. However, with our deer, which weigh maybe up to 200 pounds, if I'm really, really lucky, this will be no problem at all. So I previously targeted the load. I worked it up years ago. So we're going to put up some improvised targets outside, and we're going to load round ball using two methods. One is using a red shot cup. Same cup, just this one's slightly oxidized. These used to be made by Winchester, but are now available from Harvester, and are for 1.25 ounces of shot if you happen to have some old ones running around. And we have a ball that fits inside the cup that we can load down through this smooth bore, cylinder bored barrel. Yeah, and it's very effective. I've used it before in Africa on blue wildebeest, fired from another gun. I used a left and right with this 12-gauge double on this wildebeest and actually finished it off with a handgun. So I know it works. So the load is going to have, we're going to start with, say, 100 grains of powder, a hard card over the powder, a fiber card over the top of that, this containing the ball, and capped off with a cut-off wad, which here is out of styrofoam. The wad is irregular, but it deforms in the bore and compresses, and it will retain the ball. So this works out pretty well. So that's what we're going to load up and shoot and chronograph. I'm also going to do a load using this cloth as a patch and lubricate it with boar butter and see if we get a difference in velocities. I think what we'll see is the shot cup will give a little higher velocity, but we'll find that out in a little bit. In loading the round ball using the plastic wad, I've taken a little piece of torn off plastic here and crumble it up and put it in the bottom of the wad so the round ball fits more nearly flush with the end of the wad. So now everything is loaded. The charge of 100 grain of powder, the cardboard wad, the fiber wad, now the plastic wad goes down. I actually found that it's seated much easier just using the small end of this range rod here, because the wide end of the rod was actually catching a little bit on the plastic, and so you were trying to compress it and it wasn't wanting to go very well. Now we can just put in our little retaining wad here. Run that down, just rotate it so we're sure that it's seated well all around the bore. And now we can go out and prime and shoot. But I won't prime until we actually get out there to the range and facing the target. I don't have many of these balls left. Consequently, what I do have has to do a maximum amount of work. So I've got my target down there at 25 yards. I've got my chronograph set up. And we're about to prime with my little priming horn here. And do it to it. Well, something happened. 1,247 feet per second. (1,234 feet per second). I aimed right here. The bullet struck right there. So that certainly would have killed deer. Yep. Yeah, dead deer, guys. That's what the poor slug looks like after it hit that metal. This was the first one. It just bounced out with the second shot. So yeah, The sighting in is done. How did our brief shooting episode turn out? Well, by any man's standards, very well indeed. Both shots, both at 25 and 50 yards, would have killed deer very convincingly. I was incidentally aiming 4 inches higher at 50 than I was at 25 to compensate for the drop of these huge slugs. And this incidentally is what they look like after they hit those steel plates, which once helped the bottom of a mailbox. But now what? The gun has been fired. I must clean it today. But I have 1 load of shot left. So I'm going to load it up and see if I can take a squirrel before the day is done. Maybe so, maybe not. But the Mortimer is an excellent fowler. The replica of some of the best English guns of the day. I used it, as I mentioned, to shoot this bison, although it was not really effective the way I shot it. But it has taken fowl many times, swan, ducks, geese, etc. And now, this year, we're going to get it a deer. And I have no doubt in the world that any deer within 50 yards is dead. Can you shoot further with it? If you practice, yes. This is like an archery shoot. You've got to know your amount of bullet drop. Slow velocity bullets, at 1,200 feet per second or so, yeah, they do have considerable drop. Now, between using these and patches, yeah, about 13 feet per second faster. That's not significant. That's not really measurable to any extent. With black powder, your compression between load to load can vary that much. So either of these will kill deer if you use the proper size ball. But now, this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe. Goodbye, God bless, and see you next time. Besides extreme muzzleloading, I also talk about muzzleloading in backyard deer hunting, and exclusively about muzzleloading in an ebook series such as Hunting with Muzzleloading Shotguns and Smoothbore Muskets, Muzzleloaders for Hunters, and Hunting Big and Small Game with Muzzleloading Pistols. My newest book is Create Your Own Job Security. This book advocates that a person start a series of businesses throughout their lives to accomplish their immediate objectives and long-term have their own business at age 40 or so. So if they should be suddenly laid off, they have something already developed to fall back on. The cylinder bored Mortimer from Pedersoli now cost about $1,500. And here are the ball sizes that I used. And with a tight-fitting ball, these guns shoot remarkably well. The velocity figures were insignificant between the two different loading methods. For more information, my books, blogs, and more than 700 videos, you can go to www.hoveysmith.com. For information on my business book, you can go to the blog below. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye, and God bless.